All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be on the official stories, plural. Now, remember the good old days when you only had to counteract or debunk or disprove or disbelieve one official story? Those were like the golden days. Now, man, where there was just the one official story, and then you just had to debunk that one, or you're like, maybe I don't believe that official story. Now you've got two completely conflicting official stories, and now you've got to debunk or disprove or go against both of them. It's kind of getting tough, right? It's getting crazy because it really does seem like, whatever the COVID stuff was, okay, medical doctors disagree. We've known that pretty much throughout history. That's why it's called a diagnosis, because it means like two people giving you knowledge. That's what gnosis means, getting knowledge. So a diagnosis means getting knowledge from two people, and that's a common practice in the medical field. But now we're drifting into the legal field, and now we're getting a diagnosis from legal professionals, from the judicial branch of government, basically, right? Where Republicans are saying this woman is a domestic terrorist who basically fired a torpedo at a federal agent, and not only was he justified in doing what he was doing, if he had lit up 15 people around this woman, he would have also been justified in doing that too. And then on the other hand, you've got a woman there. The Democrats are claiming that she was a woman basically on her way to pick up her daughter from Girl Scouts, and a bloodthirsty armed agent flipped out of the bushes, jumped on top of her car, shot her in the face, and then started laughing maniacally and ran off as he was like, "Oh, I got me one," or something like that, right? Like the only things in these stories that both parties agree on is that it was a woman, which is actually surprising that everyone agrees that it was a woman, and that she was in a car. Like, that's the only two things that everyone seems to agree on here so far. The stories are completely conflicting. And the fact that they've presented two official stories now. This is the new thing, right? Now there's two official stories. So now even if you were questioning one of the official stories, you might lean more towards the other official story now, right? Because that's your bias. You're like, oh, well, I don't like cops shooting people. I don't either. And I think that was the point of my other video on this topic, was it's kind of like it's like a preeminent problem, right? The fact that that's what cops do. That's what they're there for. They're there to shoot people. So when they shoot people, it's kind of hard to get surprised anymore these days, I guess, for me personally. And then, a lot of people are not bringing up that she was a possible communist agitator, Like all the libertarians, it's like, what happened to being against communists too? I mean, we're against violent, aggressors, but communism usually leads to that too, though. And there's plenty of footage showing that she was blocking traffic from at least minutes before she was approached by the cop. She's moving her car back and forth, allowing some people through. It wasn't just a brief, like she was just doing a K-turn or something like that. She was there for a while doing that. And, the Congresswoman Ilhan Omar also did say that she was a legal observer. Now, I haven't followed up on that or heard any more news from that, but I'm very, glad, happy. You can say even excited. I might not sound excited, but I'm pretty excited that, there's not a bunch of Republican counter protesters out there right now like trying to attack or assault the protesters, because that's really good. That's like amazing, basically, to me, because it just let them protest. They're pissed off, and don't give them any more cause to do, escalate the situation. It's really good. Because at this point, it's just going to make Republicans look bad if they go out there and attack peaceful protesters, as long as it's peaceful. And if it gets unpeaceful, let Kristi Noem handle it. Basically, that's her job, right? That's what you guys elected her for. She seems pretty ruthless so far. She's just like, yeah, that woman was a domestic terrorist firing a torpedo at the federal agent. And so, therefore, he was completely justified. I mean, I don't know. It's very convenient that the one angle that we would have been able to see, he dropped the phone at the exact moment, kind of sucks. And then they've got all these other angles. They did the whole thing on CNN where they got every single camera in the area and did a 3D reenactment of it, and they don't see the guy getting hit by the car. I find that amazing. And then the fact that he had already been hit by a car recently just adds to the whole situation to make it a quagmire and illegal. The fact that there's no actual footage is basically the biggest problem here. That you got like 30 cameras, no footage of the exact precise moment when it happened. It's kind of similar to the Kirk thing, where there's all this footage of everything going on around, but no, guns are usually pretty loud, and no one with their camera swung around at that exact moment, when the shot went off. It's kind of hard to believe that no one swung around. But yeah, I got this other article here that we can just look at about what they're talking about. See, so this woman wrote this article a few days after it happened on January 9th. And it is propaganda because it's NPR. And basically in the article, she's talking about how, people were petitioning to have Nicki Minaj deported, right? And then she's trying to say here in the conclusion of the article that, oh, but, even though you guys want to deport Nicki Minaj because she's an illegal immigrant, you shouldn't do it, because then you're just taking on MAGA logic that, a person's ideology should be grounds for their removal. No, number one, that's not why people want illegal immigrants deported. Not because of their political ideology. It has nothing to do with their political ideology. Although I wouldn't put it past Trump to keep some illegal immigrants if they did, in fact, vote for Trump. But that's just a Trump thing, though. I think, in general, that's what the population that voted for Trump was expecting, to deport illegal immigrants, not based on their political ideology. Because, in fact, a lot of Mexicans are, in fact, conservative Catholics. And it's commonly known that a lot of Mexicans are conservative Catholics. Okay. But the fact of the matter is that this is actually propaganda, because Nicki Minaj is, in fact, a U.S. citizen. And this is from MSN. So this article is bupkis. All right. Let me see if I can find that CNN thing. Oh, I was gonna check on this, but it's kind of. Here we go.
Protect your dreams under.
See, they got the full, like, thing with all the cameras or whatever. When they synced up all the cameras.
Angle of many cameras on the street that captured Renee Good's fatal encounter with ICE agent Jonathan Ross. Using surveillance footage, bystander video, and Ross's own phone, CNN synced multiple perspectives of the shooting and mapped this incident in 3D space. Taken together, they show the fullest picture yet of what happened that day. A home surveillance camera captures the moment Renee Good pulls up in a maroon-colored Honda SUV 4 minutes before the shooting. 20 seconds after she arrives, her passenger and wife, Becca, wearing a white beanie, gets out of Good's car. Good then parks the SUV perpendicular in the road. Here's how Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem described what Good did.
ICE officers and agents approached the vehicle of the individual in question, who was blocking the officers in with her vehicle, and she had been stalking and impeding their work all throughout the day.
Available video doesn't show any possible contact Good may have had with ICE before this confrontation. What this video does show is that for a few minutes, while she is perpendicular to the roadway, several vehicles drive by. Even large SUVs are able to drive around her as she moves back and forth on the street. And that includes this light-colored SUV. It's slow.
See what I'm saying, libertarians? I mean, she's clearly blocking the road. She's not just doing a K-turn, you know.
Slowly drives around Good's car from the rear and stops.
And you can see her girlfriend or wife or whatever is clearly agitating the police. I'm not saying the police are the coolest guys on earth, but, you know, agitating men with guns is usually, I mean, not a good idea. Especially if they're legally allowed to be there.
Agent Jonathan Ross is recording video from his cell phone as he crosses in front of Good's car, recording as he sees her up close. She looks calm, and you can see both of her hands as she talks to the officer.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
Renee Good's wife, Becca, who had been the passenger in the car, approaches. Cell phone cameras on the street start recording as Ross walks around Good's car with Good's wife following.
I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Renee Good backs her car up as the agent walks around the front of the vehicle. At the same time, on the other side, 2 more agents approach. One tries to open the door as Good backs up. Good's vehicle starts moving. From Ross's cell phone video, you see Becca, the woman in the white beanie, trying to get into the car again. You also see Renee Good turning the steering wheel to the right.
Get out of the car.
She then accelerates, slowing this down again and matching the exact time of these 2 angles. This angle appears to show the vehicle moving close to the agent. But in this angle, he does not appear to be in the path of the vehicle when he fired.
See, I don't hear the part where she says that she's gonna pull over. Right. I hear the cop saying, stop the car.
Seconds later, Becca Good runs to her wife, followed by the agent who fired his weapon. He briefly looks into the driver's side of the car and then walks away.
Shame!
Now, what we cannot see in Ross's cell phone video is if the SUV made contact with.
All right. Enough of that. But so you can see what I'm getting at, you know. They've got all these images and video of it. And it's just not enough to get one single story, right? It's not enough. And now we've got two complete separate stories where the only uniting factor is that it was a woman and she was in a car. But beyond that, legally speaking, we're coming at two completely separate, completely divergent storylines. One of a terroristic lesbian attacking innocent ICE agents as they peacefully do their job, and another story of a bloodthirsty ICE agent ambushing a mom on her way to pick up her kids from Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and deliver baby food to orphans, right? Two completely conflicting stories. Both are the official story. Now you got to debunk or disbelieve or disprove or disagree with two official stories. Or now I guess you can just choose which official story you like better and then just run with that one. So that's the video. Thanks for watching if you did. If you didn't, well, let's keep it real. You probably didn't. So have a good day and peace.